What's up, everybody? It's your favorite FPL YouTubers back at it with another Game Week preview and analysis. This time for Game Week 3. It's going to be a good one. We already know it will be. I'm Jarrett.
I'm Evan.
I'm Nate.
And I'm Logan.
And this is How to FPL. All right, so we don't have too many topics to cover this week. Mainly just Twitter talk as usual. Something we brought up in the last episode, and we got some positive feedback, so we decided to keep it around. And then we're gonna go through Liverpool assets, sell or keep, and then we're gonna talk about what to do with Bailey / Neto / other underperforming 5 and 5.5 mil midfielders. Oh, yeah, and as you might have seen, we have Nate and Logan on the episode this week. And they are some of our first subscribers, massive fans, and we're happy to have them on for Twitter Talk this week. So, without further ado, let's get into it.
Okay, and I'm going to hand the mic over to our expert commentators on geopolitics, Elon Musk, and Manchester United. Here we go, Nate.
All right. As we know this weekend, United got stung by the Brentford Bees.
Up the bees.
And some serious rebuilding is in order. And some serious rebuilding has been in order. Would you agree, Logan?
Yes, and I think there's only one man who's up for the job.
And I know a rebuilder when I see one. And that's Elon Musk. He rebuilt his empire from a small loan of his diamond mines in South Africa with child labor to corner the market of electric vehicles. I think his autonomous vehicles could put some autonomous teams in charge of the U.S., the Premier League. What are your thoughts, Logan?
Yeah, you stole the words right out of my mouth.
Yeah.
With Man United's last two performances, I think this is exactly what they need. He will send them in the right direction.
Maybe he could code a robot Ronaldo with his expert epic coding. And
maybe give
Teslas.
Ronaldo a few Teslas.
Yeah.
Maybe he'll up the morale.
Ronaldo's gonna be sending SpaceX rockets over Brentford's wall next free kick he takes for sure.
You could give Christian Eriksen a new heart.
Okay,
Except
brilliant. Liverpool's wall, right? Easily, if Elon Musk buys Man U, I'm calling it now. They're winning the league, and that league is the championship. Anything else to add?
No, it's been an honor to be featured on How to FPL.
I love FPL. Subscribe, smash that like button, and
Turn on the bell.
Yeah.
Notification gang.
The one other thing that United is missing that I think Musk could bring back, Lingardinho. Missing. The GOAT. They need I think he could be implemented filling that center back role possibly. He's a very versatile player, notoriously. After we saw his brilliant assist this weekend, I think it's clear that he's a winner. And I know that FPL didn't count it as an assist, but him shooting it against the defender's back and someone tapping it as an assist in my book.
It was very intentional.
Yeah, it was calculated. If you
Okay,
will.
awesome. Well, thank you, Nate and
Thank
Logan.
you, Nate and Logan.
Our
Fantastic
devoted
guest appearance.
subscribers. Yes,
A1.
that was beautiful. Okay,
right.
should we move on
We'll
to
get
the next
into
one?
our teams for this week. Or our performances from
All right.
last week, sorry. So, I had a pretty good week. I went way up in rank from where I was before, pretty much cutting it in half. So, I'm pretty happy with that. It's still early days, so I don't mind seeing a rank in the 1 million range. Still, it's a couple points difference at this point makes such a huge difference in your rank that it's pretty meaningless still. I wouldn't
Wait
really.
till you see mine.
Yeah, but I wouldn't really start to care about your rank until like game week 6 or so. But so we got the clean sheet from Sanchez and Trippier. I actually called a 0-0 score in that game, so I was pretty dumb litty to see that happen. Then we got great return from Cancelo, and the Arsenal boys besides Saka had great performances. Martinelli easily could have had more than 8 points. He was extremely involved in Arsenal's attack. Jesus obviously got 2 goals and 2 assists. If people still want to call him a fraud and Man City's trash, we'll see. Keep it coming, because I will take that all day. And then, honestly, a disappointing return from Haaland against Bournemouth. I think captainers were probably hoping for a little bit more than just an assist. But it is better than a blank, so we'll take it and we'll move. But there were blanks from all of my Liverpool players. They obviously lost the clean sheet and went down to 10 men thanks to Darwin Dumbass Nunes. I don't know if you saw any of the videos of Anderson like provoking him all game long, but it was pretty funny. But then we got another blank for Bailey, and he didn't even start as well. So I transferred him out this week, as I think you should. But we'll get into that.
We'll get into that. Yeah. No, Anderson, and it's funny. Anderson made a complete show of the headbutt too. Like, I still think he should have got a red for it, but Anderson went down so fast. He played him like an absolute fiddle.
He did. He did. He got in his head.
So,
all right, let's check out your team.
And let's do it. I was just going to say I love watching Liverpool lose or tie or just fail in general, so everything's good. I didn't have quite as good of a week. Again, as has been the theme, we have fairly similar teams, except I have Mason Shithead Mount, who didn't do anything against Tottenham again. He looked super uninvolved. I mean, he had that one chance where he kind of cut into the box on his right, and
he almost hit like top bins. Maybe. Yeah, almost hit it top bins, but actually went like absolutely sky high into the crowd. Yeah.
I'm happy with my Walker clean sheet, but obviously he's no Cancelo. So, those are two hits I took in comparison to what people would probably consider the template team. But other than that, I have Sanchez and Trippier, so that's nice. And same story with Haaland and Jesus. I do think Haaland got unlucky. I think Foden should have passed to him, and that was like really early on in the game, and I genuinely think that could have completely changed the course of the game as far as Haaland's involvement. That being said, I agree. Disappointing. We'll hope for better from him, but I'm not even thinking about getting rid of him at this point. I still think that City are just putting in goals for fun, and they have good fixtures, so I'm keeping him.
Yeah, I was going to add, before you get down on yourself for your current rank, I just checked the points difference between our two teams, and I also took a hit this week, so it's going to be even less than this. I'm 17 points ahead, and yet I'm at 1.5 mil, and you're at 4 million. So that shows like just how much, like each point, it changes your rank at this point in the season. Like, there's no reason to really take stock in that.
Yeah, no, it's true. But that being said, it's nice to see a smaller number in that rank. So we'll hope for a better one next week.
Only green arrows from here.
Oh yeah. What's next? Clean sheet odds. So we have decided to sort our clean sheet odds by fixture this week instead of by high or low percent. So our first fixture of the week.
Let us know how you like the new look.
Indeed, yes. And And based on the pictures that we have here, we are extra focused on this last one on the list, United Liverpool. That should be a really interesting one. This was this De Gea picture is his apology after the Brentford game, as far as I'm aware, because he pretty much admitted that he cost them the game. So we'll see if United can shape up their defense for this week. But if anybody still has Dallo, you should probably get rid of him, because United are probably going to concede a lot of goals versus Liverpool. I heard there's going to be a protest at Old Trafford during the game. I don't know if you heard anything.
I wouldn't be
about that,
surprised.
Jared, but yeah, that'll be a fun one. Obviously, our big hitters are still the highest clean sheets. So Arsenal actually are the highest expected clean sheet for this week against Bournemouth.
Looks like Spurs are higher.
City. Oh, so they are. Yeah. Everton are struggling to score goals. So if anybody has Perisic and thinks he's going to start, he's a good shout. Might even captain him if you think he's going to start.
Shut up.
Hey man, I need him to boost my rank somehow. But I think that's all I can contribute valuably to this. Is there anything else you want to comment on?
Not really. There's definitely a pretty good spread on the different clean sheet chances for this week. Nothing really stands out besides Spurs, Arsenal, and City really.
Chelsea are up there, but yeah. All right. Cool.
Let's check out the goal scorer odds.
And finally, we might be expecting a Vardy party this week, which would be kind of hype. I doubt many people have him. I imagine the people that started with him transferred him to Darwin and got absolutely cucked this week. That would be so funny. Couldn't be me though. But yeah, Holland, isn't that interesting? Holland's still top in the odds, even though Newcastle have I believe they're yet to concede.
Yeah, they are.
So I mean, I see it. I still think City are going to win, but I do think there are questions surrounding Holland's general explosiveness as a forward after that last game. Could have been based on how Bournemouth were defending him, but
and
Foden
being a selfish prick.
Foden being a selfish prick, which he is, and that's okay. Sometimes that's a good thing, but not last week. But I think Salah and Jesus are the two standout captain options for this week. Maybe this Holland high percentage could change that, but it's interesting. Salah and Jesus have just about a similar chance of scoring this week. What do you think about these odds, Jarrett?
Yeah, so I guess I'm loving these odds, to be honest. And just looking at here, they're right around the same percentage chance for scoring a goal. And you've got to think that Salah against that Man United defense, I can't look past captaining him, to be honest. Especially since their goal scoring chances are pretty similar here, and Salah obviously gets an extra point for scoring a goal. I know. I do think there is an argument to be made for Jesus, and as an Arsenal fan, I would love to be captaining him this week, but with how poor United look, I feel like if you have Salah, you've got to captain him,
I agree. And I also think it's funny because I think if Darwin was going to play this next game, it would actually throw it more into question, because I think perhaps Darwin has upset Salah's general vibe as crazy explosive midfielder a little bit. And now that he's gone, hopefully Liverpool will just be back to their good old usual Manchester United destroying ways.
Yeah, I don't know if you were watching the game against Palace, but
I was, yeah.
Liverpool looked like way better after Darwin got sent off once they were down to 10 men, which is kind of crazy. Like they looked like the Liverpool of old.
I know. I mean, they scored right after he got sent off, right?
Yeah,
that was Diaz's goal right after that.
Yeah.
So, yeah. But what I'm curious. Oh, did you just switch slide? Okay.
Yeah, but we can talk about it still.
Well, you mentioned the argument for Jesus, but you didn't really outline it. Like, why might one captain Jesus over Salah?
Well, he just scored 19 points last week, and he is now playing the team that many think will finish last in the Premier League this season. So, definitely a good shout. But I just don't think you can really look beyond Salah against Man United, especially because I captained him both times against Man United last season, and I think he got at least a brace in both games. So it's a lovely fixture for me that I'm going to capitalize on once more.
Yeah.
But
hard to pass up.
I mean, I guess since we're on the topic of Liverpool players, we could briefly go over what people should do with their Liverpool players. My team is a good example here. Obviously, I don't have Darwin. If you have him, you should definitely sell him. But I am keeping both Trent and Robbo. I'm not even thinking about selling Salah right now. Maybe eventually, but not right now. But I mean, Trent and Robbo are just such elite FPL assets, and just because they haven't returned yet this season does not mean that they will not be getting hauls very shortly. I would seriously question someone if they were selling either of them ahead of this fixture against Man United, because you can't really see Man United doing anything against Liverpool, and Liverpool have great fixtures even besides this Man United game. So honestly, the only Liverpool player that out of Trent, Robbo, Salah, Diaz, and Darwin that I'd be looking to sell is Darwin.
Yeah, I fully agree, and I think everything you said holds especially true for this game week. Like, there's just absolutely. I actually can't think of a defender I would rather have in my team than Trent and Robbo versus United for this week. We'll get to my team in a second, so I can talk more about it then. But I agree with what you said.
Gotcha. Okay, well, I'll just go through my transfers for this week first. So I made 2 early transfers to avoid price rises because I kind of figured out that I wanted to make this move basically after watching the Chelsea game. I decided I really wanted Reece James for this week and for the coming weeks, and so I ended up selling both Leon Bailey and Trippier for De Silva and Reece James. De Silva, I'm not expecting him to get returns every week, to be honest. I can acknowledge that his expected goals is really low, and he's perhaps gotten fortunate so far. But you know what? Better to be lucky than to not score at all. And I can always rotate him with Neco Williams and Andreas as well, so I don't think that's a bad option at all. And then, Reece James, he looks like Chelsea's best player by a mile, to be honest. And Chelsea also have great fixtures now, so I took a hit to get him, but I would imagine that would pay off pretty quickly in the medium term. Maybe not this week, but I definitely think it will pay off. But yeah, captaining Salah. That's really the only major development. And still debating which goalkeeper to start. But I'm not
But
sure.
you're on board.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think a lot of people are facing that goalkeeper dilemma. And honestly, it's probably a crapshoot, as our clean sheet odds suggested.
Yeah, we're
as for
probably
James-
debating 1 point versus 2 points or something.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I mean, Leicester. I mean, I could definitely see Leicester destroying Southampton, but I think it's just a question of whether Southampton gets that one sneaky goal in there.
Yeah, which it could happen. Leicester's defense looked pretty leaky against Arsenal, but then again, it is the mighty Arsenal, so we'll see. Let's check out your team.
Yeah, but okay. I was just gonna say, I think your team looks really good for this week with the triple Arsenal again versus Bournemouth. I think you're shaping up to have another
And you got
banger.
that too.
So I've got the triple Arsenal now. Yes, I caved and I got rid of my boy Mason Mount. I was trying to hold out to see if he could pull something together versus Spurs. Obviously, it was not ever in my plans to have to get rid of him this early. You know, ideally, I would have been a little more patient with him, but man, he was literally my only route into getting Martinelli, and I need Martinelli in my team. He's just, he's firing on all cylinders right now, and he costs $6 million. And he and Arsenal are in form, and they're playing Bournemouth. This is the week for me to do it. So I ripped that transfer even before Chelsea played their game over the weekend, and it turned out to be, as far as I'm concerned, a good decision. So we'll have to wait and see whether Mount punishes me, which he could easily do. Jarrett I know you were giving me some shit for that. Mount could easily punish me. But whatever, the deed is done. And I think the only other glaring issue in this team, the absolute eyesore that everybody probably saw the moment they looked at my team, is that Bailey is still in it. He's got to go. The question is which week, and I've already taken the price drop hit on him. So at this point, I think I'm going to try and ride it out as long as his price isn't going to drop again before the end of the week. I think I'm going to hold off on selling him until next week. I know you have some thoughts on that, Jarrett.
Yeah, I mean, maybe my strategy is a little too aggressive, but I love to really try and maximize my team value early in the season. So I made sure to sell Bailey before his price dropped. But that being said, there's some merit to being a little more patient. Although I guess you weren't exactly patient selling Mount before the Chelsea game. But that's okay. But yeah, I was a little surprised when you told me that you sold Mount for Martinelli. I mean, looking now, I can see he probably is, your only route to get Martinelli. If you do believe that Martinelli is going to be really essential and that his start wasn't just a fluke, which I believe that as well. But I think Mount could punish you, to be honest. He's got some pretty tasty fixtures. A lot of people are transferring him in this week. So
yeah,
I thought that was interesting.
I don't know. I honestly think that the people doing that didn't watch Chelsea these first two games, because I watched it because I was like, okay, what's Mount gonna do? He didn't do shit either game. Like he looked like he was playing way deeper than someone who's 8.0 should be playing. And he's not on pens, and he just didn't look like his normal Mount self. So I'm okay selling him, especially because Martinelli's in form. So if I get punished, I'll take it like a man.
Yeah. No, to be honest,
that being said,
watching Chelsea, the only player I was really interested in getting would be Reece James.
Which he
just looks so good.
Yeah, no, I mean, he literally scored instant after getting moved to his natural position.
And
So-
Howard's missed that sitter that he gave an excellent
Yeah.
cross for. So he
That
could have had
cross
even
was an
more.
absolute banger. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was a Kevin De Bruyne level cross right there.
Literally.
That was
literally.
nice.
Yeah.
Still not
Yeah.
quite as good, obviously, but
Yeah, but back to your team for this week. Obviously, like, your team's pretty similar to mine, so of course I'm gonna like it. But I think you're set up to do pretty well this week as well.
yeah. Fingers crossed.
All right. Well, that being said, that wraps up our video for this week. Make sure to like and subscribe. Maybe leave a comment. And then check us out on Instagram and Twitter. We're very active on both platforms and love to start a dialogue with the fans.
Absolutely. And speaking of which, we hope you guys loved our guest appearance of two of our top fans. And hopefully we can do more fun surprises like that for you guys in the future. So without further ado, thank you and see you next week.
Bye.